Seton Motley on the line with us, the president of Less Government, lessgovernment.org, at Seton Motley Twitter. Hey, Seton, welcome back to the program.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am fine. So I know that you're supportive of the concepts put forward in the Citizens United Supreme Court decision.
Yes.
Doesn't that make Mitt Romney a serial killer, and shouldn't we be worried about that because he bought all these corporations and killed off about a quarter of them?
No, because corporations are people only in the legal sense, not in the actual sense.
Well, you and I, with regard to murder laws, you and I are people only in the legal sense also. I mean,
No, we're actually human beings with actual life. This is the delineation the left doesn't grasp when they run stupid ads like this, but are for abortion.
Okay, so are you saying that we're real people and corporations aren't, and therefore when the founders wrote wrote the Bill of Rights, they meant us and not corporations?
No, legally, in the law, corporations are people.
Where does it say that in the Constitution, Seton?
When you form a corporation,
the word corporation does not exist in the Constitution.
Neither does abortion, but you back that, don't you?
This is not a conversation about abortion. This is a conversation about whether or not corporations have protections under the... Seton, we can all day long we can say that human beings have rights under the Constitution. The question is, do corporations?
You mean like right to life? You mean like for babies and abortion?
Or the right to marry, the right to anything you want.
Tom.
This is not.
Tom.
Seton, are you suggesting that corporations should have rights under the Constitution? If so, where do you see that? I don't see it.
You don't see it. Well,
I've read the Constitution. I don't find the word corporation in it anywhere.
Who forms corporations, Tom?
Who forms churches? Are churches protected in the Constitution?
Yes.
Okay, explicitly. Where does it say where does it say corporations are?
Well, no, they get the same. No, the people who form the corporation, their rights are extended to the corporation. Of course they are. They can't be.
Where does it say that in the Constitution?
No, it doesn't say that. The Constitution is enumerated.
Where does it say that in any law that's ever been passed by the House of Representatives, the Senate, or signed into law by the President?
Tom, why
in the history of this country?
Why do people who form a corporation lose their free speech rights, Tom?
They individually do not lose their free speech rights, Seton. You and I both know that. The corporation does not have, and should, actually it does, but it should not have free speech rights because it's not a person.
Well, no, it's a bunch of people who formed a corporation.
Yes.
Yes.
And
so we can
individually, each one of them can speak. But as a corporation, are you suggesting that ExxonMobil should have the same protections? If you want ExxonMobil to have the same First Amendment protections under the Constitution as you and I have, do you want them to have the same Second Amendment Constitution? Should they have the right to carry a gun?
Sure.
You want them to have the Fourth Amendment right to privacy, so they can do whatever they do in private, and we don't have any ability to know what it is?
Yes.
Even though we are giving them limited liability that you and I don't have.
What limited liability? They get sued all the time.
The whole point of forming a corporation is that you put $50,000 into a corporation. The corporation runs up $1 million in debt. You bankrupt the corporation, and the people who formed the corporation have limited liability. Their liability is limited to that original $50,000. If you or I ran up $1 million worth of debts, we would be held responsible.
We file for bankruptcy and pay a percentage just like the corporation does, Tom.
It's a whole different set of bankruptcy laws, and there are exemptions under those bankruptcy laws that apply to people. No, it's not actually.
It's the same result,
it is not. As a person, you cannot, Seton, you can't use bankruptcy laws to get out of your student loans, for example.
You need to come up with better examples, Tom, because right now you're striking out every time.
You can't. All right, so you think that corporations should have the right to lie about, for example, the effects of cigarettes?
When did I say that anyone had the right to lie about anything?
Well, we all have the right to lie. It's called free speech.
Yeah, so they can too, sure.
Okay, so you think corporations should be able to lie about cigarettes? They should be able to lie about asbestos?
Yeah, and then if they get caught, they get punished with lawsuits and breaking the and criminal and civil punishment. Sure.
So in other words, they shouldn't be allowed to lie. You're saying there should be laws against their lying.
No, if they're breaking the law, Tom, corporations get punished and private citizens get punished.
But if they're hiding, okay, so where are the penalties for those corporations that have killed so many hundreds of thousands of Americans with mesothelioma through asbestos and 400,000 to 500,000 Americans a year through tobacco.
Actually has mesothelioma, but go ahead.
Yeah, you don't want to go there with me, Seton.
I don't understand what your question is.
That's the disease that killed my father. I'm very familiar with it.
Well, I understand that, but it's a huge racket by trial lawyers.
And those corporations in 1935 knew that asbestos caused mesothelioma, and they kept it hidden.
And guess what? They've been punished, haven't they?
Well, arguably, they have paid some fines. Many of them are doing just fine, thank you very much. But the people in those corporations, because of limited liability, because of the corporate shield, none of them have gone to jail, and yet people have died. Don't you think there's something fundamentally wrong with that?
What does that have to do with free speech, Tom?
No, I'm talking about the Fourth Amendment here, not the First Amendment.
Well, you just changed the subject, Tom.
Okay. So, bottom line, you think corporations are people, but you don't think that Mitt Romney's a serial killer.
That's absurd. Who did he kill? He killed jobs. He
killed hundreds of corporations.
He far more jobs than he killed.
Or he killed a bunch of corporations.
Well, fine. He also created far more jobs than he killed, which is much more than you can say about Barack Obama.
Can't we just agree that corporations aren't persons?
No, they have many of the same rights as people. Absolutely.
Again, where does it say in the Constitution corporations have rights?
The Constitution delineates what the federal government can or cannot do, and then the 10th Amendment says if it's not in the Constitution, it belongs to the states or the people.
To the states, not to the 9th Amendment is the people. That's the 9th Amendment.
And the people can't leave that one out, Tom.
That's right. That's the 9th Amendment. But neither of those two amendments mention corporations. There's not an 11th Amendment that says and corporations.
The Constitution exists to enumerate the federal powers. It doesn't have to mention what the other rights are. It mentions what the rights of the federal government are. And if it's not there, it belongs elsewhere, including with the people.
All right. I'll let you have the last word on that. Seton Motley, lessgovernment.org. Fascinating take. Thank you, Seton.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for dropping by.